Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Eric. In today's video we're going to be installing a catch can on my Evo 9. Now before we get into today's video, I noticed 93% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, so do me a favor and click that subscribe button. So if you own an Evo, an oil catch can is kind of a must, especially if you're tracking the car. Last year I had a track day and I ended up blowing out the dipstick and it made a mess in the engine bay. And that's because I had nothing to relieve the crankcase pressure. So this is definitely a must. So I reached out to a local Vegas Evo gentleman named Darren, and he was able to fab one of these up for me. Eventually I do want to make one of these and sell it on my website. I just don't have the complete TIG welding setup. I did take a class and was able to learn how to TIG weld, but there's a little bit of cost involved with that, so eventually I will get into it. But he was able to put together this nice little kit for me for a reasonable price, and it comes with everything you need to install this thing. The only thing that I didn't have was these little bungs. They're 6AN fittings that go into the valve cover and they got to be pressed in, but everything else comes with the kit. The hose, I do already have one that's built, and I'm gonna need to build the other one. I just want to make sure that I had the right length on it and cut it once and make sure I do it right. So first thing we need to do is get the car jacked up and then get the old fittings off of the car. This is that fitting I just pulled out of the valve cover, and we need to replace it with this one right here. And before we do that, we're going to use a little ultra black gasket maker to put on that fitting, so that way the valve cover doesn't leak any oil out of it. And then I'm just going to use a mallet to press it back in. So you can kind of see now that it's pressed in that that little gasket maker almost formed like an O-ring, but it's not exactly perfect, but it'll work. Alright, so now we got to move on to the PVC part on the back of the valve cover. So this is the one that came out of the rear of the car, and it has this little metal grommet. We got to take that thing off so that way we can get it on that fitting and press this back into the vehicle. Now that we got the fittings in, it's time to put this catch can together. We got 2 breather filters that's got to go on, and then also a drain plug. So now that that's in its location, we just need to do the AN lines and button everything back up, and we should be good to go on this install. Alright, so everything is installed and I just need to button up the engine bay and we're good to go. There is one more bung on here and I do have a cap for it, but this extra one is if I ever want to use the vent that STM sells for the sight hole on the balance shaft. I can always hook it up right there if I want to, if I need more relief from the crankcase. Alright, everything is buttoned back up. I did end up putting a little nipple on here to block off the intake. Also the intake manifold, man, that's a pain in the butt. The nipples are on the bottom side of the F1 intake manifold, but I got that one blocked off as well. I do wish there was a better way to route this stuff. Maybe in the future when I do my own catch can, I will put the bungs right here instead of on the side. Just with this ETS intercooler pipe and the tile blow-off valve, there really wasn't any good way to hook them up other than the way I have it right now. Well, I think that's going to be a wrap on this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, smash that like button and also subscribe. Till next time.